In today's video, I want to share some unique habits that I've picked up from the Brits. So the first habit that became sort of a ritual, it just happened this past winter. We're still kind of at the tail end of winter, but I noticed it a couple weeks ago and I had to comment on it because I knew that all of the British people out there would get a good chuckle out of it. Having a cup of tea when I walk in the door at the end of the day. It's been kind of a brutal winter. It's been a bit chilly. There's chilly winds that come along with it, and it's been quite windy. And it's been very damp. And I didn't realize how the dampness actually makes you feel even colder, especially when it's prolonged dampness and darkness and gray and windy and cold, like British winters tend to be. But I have found that having a cup of tea when I get home really does help. Especially because I walk to and from the train station and I'm in the elements most of the time. And I'm the first one home, so the heat's definitely not on in the house when I get home. So I have found that just warming my insides up and my hands up with a cup of tea, sitting down for a minute, it does actually feel kind of like a warm hug. It's a British thing, right? They don't really just drink tea. They live tea. Like tea's in their blood, basically. I don't know that I'm fully on board with that part of it, but I have embraced having a cup of tea when I come in from the elements, especially in the winter and when it's damp outside. The next habit that I've picked up that is very British as compared to what I used to do in America anyway, is having my drinks without ice. Because America is all about the almighty dollar, everything has lots of ice in it. You just kind of become accustomed to it. And you assume that a glass of water, a drink that you get at the bar, anything you have has lots of ice in it. Now, I will admit that even in my own home, I used to put ice with all of my drinks as well, particularly because of habit, I think. But also, it does get really hot in the summer, at least where I was in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. It's a very American thing. I used to put ice in all of my stuff, but I haven't really here since I moved to the UK. Nobody puts ice in their drinks here unless you ask for it, at least in most occasions that I've been privy to. And I have to admit that, I don't really use ice that much in my home either. In all fairness, tagging on to the first thing where it's cold a lot here and it's damp a lot here, you don't need it like you do in America. You don't need a nice, cool beer or a nice cool cup of lemonade filled with ice to battle the summer heat. You don't really get a lot of summer heat here. You don't really need to have ice on hand for most occasions. So yeah, I've definitely gone off having ice in my drink. Number 3 is noting moments of irony with this sarcasm. British humor is fantastic. I love it. And it's very much based on self-deprecation and sarcasm and irony. So just basically giving in to every sarcastic spin you can find in every single scenario. I have to admit, sometimes it gets on my nerves a little bit, only because I'm trying to be serious about something, but in the end, usually laughing does help me relieve a little bit of stress and pressure, and I end up doing a better job at the end of the day. It's kind of a national sport here, and you can find that ironic take and make it funny. You're going to. Every British person's going to do it, and I found myself trying to find the funny in everything as well. I've become the person who kind of says things like, that's definitely going to work out. Most people are kind of flabbergasted because they're not expecting it from me. That'll probably wear off soon as well, but I'm enjoying the British wit, and I have adopted it a little bit in my everyday life, and it's a lot of fun. I like it. Number 4 is despising American chocolate. Now, I was a big Hershey girl in America. I really liked Hershey. I love the ones with almonds in it. I really like almonds. But now I've recently had Hershey bars and I hate them. I am obsessed with Cadbury Dairy Milk here. I know a lot of people say that European chocolate's much better. I've had a little bit of it. I don't know. I don't feel the same way. It doesn't have that like creamy, milky flavor like Cadbury does. I feel like Cadbury is just very distinct flavor and it's difficult to top it. Maybe if I explore Europe a little bit more, I'll find a different kind of chocolate that I like better. But for now, it's definitely up with Cadbury and it's down with Hershey. There is no going back as far as I'm concerned. I cannot stomach a Hershey bar now, and I don't know that I ever will ever again. The next thing is enjoying British comfort food. My comfort food in America was Chinese food, which I still eat here. Tastes different, slightly different, but I still eat it here. But it was mainly like pizza, pasta. Really, my comfort food here has really changed. A huge staple in our house now is bangers and mash. We have it almost every week. Everybody loves it. And you gotta put some Yorkshire pudding on the side with some gravy over it. Perfection, okay? Cheap, it's filling, it's easy to make, and it usually goes down with most of the crowd. I highly recommend it if you haven't had it before. Bangers are sausages, by the way. And another staple in our house is one of our go-to takeaways is fish and chips. Love fish and chips. I eat so much fish here. And there's something about chippy chips or French fries that are just freaking banging and out of this world. Those are really some staples, some British comfort foods that we always have to have. And they're crowd pleasers and they make you feel really comfortable, which I guess is why they're called comfort food. And the last habit that I've picked up from the Brits that I never did before I moved here, carrying around an umbrella, but never actually using it. As I mentioned before, I walk to the train station all the time and to get to work, and I walk to the stores and to High Street all the time. And in case you don't know, it rains in England and the rest of the UK, because it's the UK, and it rains a lot, especially in the winter. I always have my umbrella on me, but the rain here is just not really conducive to using the umbrella in most cases. It's usually not a really heavy rain. It's more kind of a mist rain or a light drizzle. If it is a heavy rain, it's almost always accompanied by a heavy wind, and so it pretty much makes the umbrella useless. So I found having something with a hood and just walking quite briskly to my next location serves me a lot better than getting out the umbrella, worrying about it folding back because of the wind. Is the rain going to be in the wind and coming from the side underneath the umbrella anyway? It's not even worth it. When you're in a crowd, the umbrella is just a big pain in the butt. So it's just easier to throw your hood up and just walk a lot faster to get where you gotta go. So those are just a few of the British habits that I've picked up since being here in the UK. I've just embraced it. I've just gone with it. I'm not even thinking about it anymore. I'm curious, if you're a foreigner living here in the UK, is there any British habits that you've picked up? Or as a Brit who might be living somewhere else or noticed habits from other places that you now do in your everyday life? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd really love to hear your stories. Please hit that like button on your way out, and thank you so much for listening. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.